translators, interpreters, translators, interpreters, and Bilingual Assistance Academy. So what we do is that we prepare you for your translation, your interpretation career, and your bilingual assistant career in any organization. We have competent hands that will take you through this process. Today's class is going to be on simultaneous interpretation. So many people have asked a lot of questions during the current course we are doing now on interpretation, and we are at the stage where we are doing shadowing, and people are wondering why do we have to so people are wondering, why do we have to do shadowing? Shadowing is a technique that helps you do your simultaneous interpretation very well. Shadowing is like a semi-simultaneous interpretation. The only difference this time is that you will be repeating only what you hear. So you're not going to be analyzing what you are saying. You are just repeating like a machine automatically. And this will help you to build your speed, your ability to manage interference, such as technical interference, like a very loud, sharp noise, something falling down, someone just talking to you out of nowhere, or somebody stammering, maybe the participant or the person you're interpreting for is stammering. These are interference that could come up during the course of your interpretation. Shadowing techniques will help you with that. So we've been doing shadowing for almost a week. Monday, we are doing shadowing in your language A. You're supposed to shadow in English, first of all. If you are doing English and another language, you're supposed to shadow first in your language A. For us, our language A currently during the class is English. So if your language A is French, you shadow in your language A. This is because it's a language that you know, and it's easier for you to follow up with the speed. Shadowing, you can start from 20 minutes to 30 minutes to 1 hour. And while doing this, you are recording yourself, and you play back what you did to see if you did it properly or you made some mistakes. Then when you make mistakes, note where you made mistakes, try to find out what made you to make that mistake. Like when I started shadowing, I discovered that whenever the participant stammers, I make a mistake, I just lose track because it interrupts what I'm saying. Or two people are talking and maybe I was working on just one person, or that person just starts talking at the same time. It also interferes with what I'm doing and I make a mistake. Or the person just suddenly stammers or is repeating the same thing over and over again, then moves on to a different thing. I could lose track of what I'm saying. Or the person even says a name or a place that is difficult to pronounce. That's another problem. So in these situations, you want to try as hard as possible to concentrate, and where you make a mistake, please don't allow it to distract you. Just continue what you are doing and ignore the mistake at that point. At some point, the person might say that thing or that word again. This time I had to listen a bit harder to be able to hear what the person said, then continue. So simultaneous interpretation is an interpretation is one that you do. You'll be interpreting while the person is still talking. You just have like 1 or 2 seconds lag behind the speaker. There are some qualities you want to look out for to determine if this is a profession for you. One thing all researchers have agreed on is that simultaneous interpretation is a highly demanding profession, and it is not just for everybody. So some of the qualities you want to look out for is, number 1, you have to have a good memory. 2, high linguistic skills in both languages or more than both languages. If you have language A, B, and C, your linguistic skills have to be very high. Then you have to concentrate for a long period of time consistently without breaking. proper distribution and articulation. So you should be able to articulate what you are saying and be able to distribute any information you are hearing as per the time it comes without modeling everything up together. You should be a rapid speaker, be reactive, have physical endurance, good memory, good hearing, excellent vision, and clear articulation. I'm sure you understand what the other things I mentioned are. For clear articulation, what it means is that when you are talking, people should understand you irrespective of their language or their or anything that could be a bias. You should not have a very heavy accent that makes it difficult to even hear understand what you are saying, or have certain nuances like um, those things people say in between speeches. Those are distracting. So those things are things you want to talk about. Articulation, well, I'm sure you already understand what I mean by articulation. So you use your phonetics should be good, your pronunciation excellent as expected, of course. Okay, so there are some conditions necessary for you to take up simultaneous interpretation. These are internal things that you should ensure as a professional, whether you are freelancing or you are going to do it in your organization. It's very important that you take this into cognizance. Number one, okay. Okay, so number one thing you want to. Oh, I don't think people are hearing me again. No. Sorry, if you can hear me, just say hello or just say hi. I. It seems my screen has frozen. I don't know what is wrong. Okay, let me see. Okay, so number one thing is never take simultaneous interpretation tasks alone, especially if it's going to be for more than an hour. Usually it's advised that you take it up with one or two of your colleagues, especially when you're staying for more than an hour. The reason being that naturally as a human being you can't concentrate for more than 30-40 minutes consistently without any break. You would need somebody to take over from you, where you need to take a pause, drink some water, stretch your legs, and just take in some new air. Okay, let me see what is going on. I don't know why my screen is frozen. Let me see if I can switch to another network. Okay, we are still online. I'm just trying to see if I can resolve what it is. Okay. Okay. All right. I think let me just continue. All right. So You never take a simultaneous interpretation tax alone. That's the first thing. And then secondly, never accept a tax less than 1 or 2 weeks. 2 weeks usually is the minimum, but sometimes, just in case there is something that came up where you could not get everything within that period, 1 week. This is because you need the documents for the program or the conference sent to you early enough, so that the terminologies that are associated with that particular sector or that area would be known to you. You're not going to just be walking into a program just blank, no documents, you don't know what is going on there, you don't know what you're going to talk about, you don't know how many days it's going to take, apart from what they just told you orally, because no two meetings are the same. It's good if you already have a niche that you are aware of, if it's something that has to do with UN or African Union or ECOWAS kind of meetings, and you've been attending them regularly and you already know what they talk about, fine. Although they all have departments, so maybe it's a particular department that's always been inviting you for programs, it's still okay, it's still fine. But in a case where you are being invited by a new organization or a new association, they need to give you their conference documents. You have to know the list of participants, know their names, the names of their organizations or where they are working. So when they mention their names, like they mention a very long name from a country you don't know so much what to say because you've prepared yourself ahead. Then never go in without proper documentation that you would need to prepare or during the course of the program that you need to work with. Those things are always important. The speech of the participants that are going to be on stage, you need to have all those speeches, or at least some of them, to read them, to know the kind of participants you'll be interpreting for. Also, it's very good you have your water, or you have some food with you, so that if you are exhausted, you can always take something and chew on or drink. Then it's still up to you if you want to stay past your work time. Sometimes you are interpreting back and forth, and you spend almost 7 8 hours. 6 hours is okay, 7 hours is still okay. But where you have to stay past the time that you've already agreed, maybe you're supposed to do your interview from around 9 to 5, and they want you to stay past that time, it's good you reconsider and be very sure you can take it, because you could break down. Actually, you could break down if you overwork yourself past your limits. Okay, I think we'll have to stop here. For those who ask questions about shadowing, please continue your shadowing. You still need to continue shadowing even when you start your career as an interpreter. You still have to continue shadowing. All right, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And with that, we have come to the end of this session. See you in the next session. And for those in the teams that we broke into groups, please prepare your presentation and let us have them on your dates, which is I think your first presentation should be on a Saturday, this Saturday. So I look forward to meeting you, and adios, bye.